Hello, everyone. This is André Campbell, your host of Spiritual IV. Welcome to another Wednesday where we take a few minutes in between work and we talk and share some awesome things about God that I think some of us would enjoy learning. Today, we're going to talk about the order of life. And, one of the interesting things about life, and sorry about that ambulance, that's a part of life too going by. But, one of the things about life is that a lot of times we end up in a mindset where things can get out of order. They can get out of their natural order. And there's plenty of things we could talk about regarding that, but I want to go to one of the most basic ones where we place ourselves in the order of things, where you place yourself and where I place myself. I've flown a lot in my lifetime. And when I was young, I remember the stewardess used to come on and they would say, in the case of an emergency, oxygen masks may drop down. And so when those they display it and show you what it looked like, the first thing they tell you is, please put especially to the adults, if you're traveling with children or elderly, put your mask on yourself first, and then put the mask on your loved ones. And I used to always say why. I used to always wonder why, but it's a real logical reason, because while you're busy trying to put on the mask on everybody else and oxygen is depleting and you pass out, then who's gonna put the mask on you? You may not even get the mask on them. And so that was a pivotal concept for me in life. And so as I peruse, trying to use a big word, peruse the word of the Lord, looked over the word of the Lord, I found in the book of Mark, and I wonder if Stan could put that up for me, the book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 30 through 31, it says, "And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment." And it goes on to say, "And the second is like this, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these." And I think sometimes we've taken this and we've simply said, well, love God, and then put your family next, and then, whatever else. And then somewhere along the totem pole, somewhere along the line, you'll be included. But I need to speak to someone today. I need to speak life and purpose and meaning and truth into someone's life today. What that scripture is really telling us, if we take another look at it, what it's telling us is that, of course, put God first. God is first. Love him with all your heart, all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. This is the first commandment. Then we go on to the second one again. It says, "And the second is like this, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself." And let me ask you a very serious question. Look me right in the eye when I ask you this question. How are you going to love your neighbor as yourself if you haven't first learned how to love yourself? You see, there's an order of things. God first. It's going to be hard for some folks to accept. The next is you. You're next. You got to take care of you. You got to, now that you have loved God and God has loved on you, and you know what love is, and you know what unconditional love is in God, you now have received that, and you can pass that on to others. But you have first got to love yourself. You've got to first take care of yourself. You've got to first ask God to heal you and address and deal with your issues. We talked about reflection recently. We talked about a reorientation recently, and I think some of us are disoriented in this concept. And so we claim that God is first, and then we put our family there. Some of us are families first. Some of us are everyone else is first. And here we are struggling and pulling up the back end. Today I want to encourage someone. Let's get the order of life right. When we put these things in its proper order, if we put these things in proper order. I saw somebody write something just now, and I want to encourage us. Love yourself. Love God, and when you love God, you're gonna find out how much He loves you. He's in hot pursuit of you. He loves you with an unconditional love, and He wants you to understand that love for yourself. Love you, and then you'll be able to love your neighbor. And your closest neighbor is not the person living in the house or the apartment next door. It's the people that live right there in your home with you. God bless you. And I want you to learn to put things in their proper order. God first, then your direct connect with Him, then you learn to love yourself, and then you will have an overflow. You will have an outflow that will go out so you can love others. You can love your family, and you can love those in the community. Someone needed to receive that word today, and I pray that God will let that word take root in your life. And I'll see you next week for another episode of Spiritual IV. God bless.
In the middle of the week, with the word once more. If you feel a little weak, this is Spiritual IV.